So it's the end of an era with the Amazing Spider-Man number 700, but the start of a new one with Superior Spider-Man number 1.
And we check in with Jason Aaron's horror and fantasy epic, Thor, God of Thunder. So we're finally back reviewing some comics.
Back.
I don't know if you noticed, we pre-recorded a lot of episodes there.
No.
We went on our Christmas break and
I showed up here every week. No one else was here. I wasn't happy about it, but I did have time to sort out the wall. New background. New year. Let's get into it.
And a new Spider-Man book.
And a new Spider-Man book. So we'll start off talking about the Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Came to an end with their final story, Dying Wish, I believe it was titled.
Don't know.
Death's Wish, Last Wish, something like that.
Yeah, and just brief warning, there will be spoilers in this episode.
This episode is spoiler filled.
Riddled in it.
Both, it literally, yeah, it's just full. So
so I'm just going to give a quick recap of what, because you haven't read The Amazing Spider-Man. You started on with Superior Spider-Man, so it'll be an interesting.
Yeah, I'm the new eyes going into Superior Spider-Man, see if it's something you can just pick up and read.
But essentially, what happened was everyone knew it was coming to an end, and Doc Ock is dying, and he has a mind swap device, and he swaps bodies with Peter Parker, and it's a big twist.
Oh my god!
And yeah, and that's kind of set up for the final arc of, oh my god, Peter Parker is in Doc Ock's body and he's dying, and Doc Ock is now Spider-Man and he's messing shit up, and he might possibly sleep with Mary Jane, and it's kind of dark, and all that kind of thing. Leads up to eventually Peter Parker breaks out of the prison, and it's an epic showdown. Doc Ock versus Spider-Man in issue 700, only the other way around.
It's like Face Off.
Yeah, yeah, exactly is. And I mean, what everyone thinks is going to happen, what I think is going to happen, is something along the lines of he'll get his body back, he'll do something, maybe he'll kill him, and he'll somehow become more badass and more superior, and that's how we transition into the next book. What actually ends up happening is that Peter Parker dies in the body of Doc Ock, but not before he passes on all of his experiences and all his life lessons. Yeah. And then Doc Ock decides, well, okay, I'm going to become the new Spider-Man. I'm going to be a hero, but I'm not going to be held back by the restrictions that Peter Parker was. Yeah. I'm going to be superior.
Hey!
To which I said, great. Good. Because if you're starting a new Spider-Man, like, there's got to be a good reason other than we're going to need to make more money and get more people reading Spider-Man. I mean, yeah, people have been saying to me in the comments of these videos again and again and again, oh, it's a business, it's a business. I'm still not going to have any of that. It's an art form first. So I think this is...
I'm sorry, what? The $6.99 comic you just bought is not a business? Come on.
My point is that it should be art first.
Well, hey, no one's arguing it should be.
The minute I think it isn't art first is the minute I stop buying comics. So my problem then...
And that's when this show is over.
So I guess... So Amazing Spider-Man, fine. Good story. I like what they did. Superior Spider-Man. Going into it, is it a good jumping on point? Did you enjoy the book? What did you think?
Well, I suppose the good thing about Superior Spider-Man number 1 is that it sums up all of that in the first page. It gives you a little monologue. I am Doc Ock, but now I am Spider-Man, all that jazz.
There's a couple of nuances you don't get. There's a bit in Amazing Spider-Man where Doc Ock does something to one of the villains, almost like dismembers them, and he's like, wow, Peter Parker's been holding back all these years. He's much more stronger than he's been letting on, things like that.
Yeah, and you get that, like, he's got this new kind of, I don't know if it's a power or just a gadget, but where he slices one of the members of the Sinister Six, and things like that. You know, he is showing a more intelligent, a stronger, a faster Spider-Man. So yeah, everything that makes him more superior to the previous one. I don't know whether that's a good thing or not. I don't know whether I actually enjoyed and I certainly did not enjoy the end of this book.
That's the worst part about it, and that makes me...
Because the end of that book makes me go, oh, now I don't understand the point of stopping the Amazing Spider-Man.
No point at all.
Because
they undermine the whole thing.
That book is filled with heritage.
Yeah.
number 700.
Yeah.
You don't get 700 issues of a book with it being bad, you know? And I feel as though it wasn't an ending to the Amazing Spider-Man that it deserved, and it certainly wasn't a start to the Superior Spider-Man that this character deserves. And I want to read a Spider-Man book.
I won't be reading this one.
No, this one is not the one for me.
They undermined the whole purpose of everything that they did. Like, if you...
As comic books do, because you can't kill Peter Parker.
Can, because you can if you do it in this way, because it was Peter Parker. If you pick up this book, if they didn't do the ending, then if you pick up this book 20, 30 issues down the line, it's Peter Parker. You're not going to know any different unless you know.
Yeah.
It's like when they killed Nightcrawler and then brought in the Age of Apocalypse Nightcrawler. We still have Nightcrawler, but really we know it's not Nightcrawler. There is certain ways you can kill characters. This was still Peter Parker. We still had all his memories, but they're so fucking scared of what people will say that they're just like, oh no, turns out Peter Parker isn't dead. We're gonna do a Return of Bruce Wayne thing. He's gonna try and get back into his body. What the hell was the point of any of it then? Not only did you undermine the ending, but you undermined the 700 issues like they weren't worth anything, just for the sake of what? Because it's a business. Get more people Spider-Man. That makes me cringe inside.
And especially when last year. Was it last year or the year before, we had the death of Peter Parker in the Ultimates comics, and I read that, and it was emotional, and it was it hit you right where, it hits all the right notes, whereas this one just didn't. It just completely fell flat and didn't have that emotional resonance. And unfortunately, that's because they feel more loose with the Ultimates because it's not their ground reality, it's the alternative reality, so they're quite happy to do what they want, but they need to take that approach with all of their comics. I don't mind if they bring Peter Parker back, but do it 2 or 3 years from now. Don't do it straight away.
But don't...
It's literally the first issue. It's like, he's coming back.
But then, but not only that, when we get Peter Parker back, say what, 10 issues, 15 issues time, either that.
If that.
Where are we then?
We're back to square one, and we've lost the Amazing Spider-Man.
We've lost the concept of the Superior Spider-Man. We've lost the whole concept of that book.
He's no longer superior.
Yeah.
He is the Amazing Spider-Man again.
Do you know what they better do?
Change the title again.
Yeah, what they better do is after Peter Parker gets his body back, the Amazing Spider-Man comes back out from 701.
But of course, that is the argument. Would you have picked up Spider-Man if they weren't going back to number 1?
All right, so they get me buying 2 books then. I would have bought 700 anyway because it was the landmark issue and it might have been worth something.
And can we also just say, I love that cover. That is just a thing of beauty, and all the 700 variants that came out were great.
And we have Superior Spider-Man here, but so this is the only thing that made me buy it. I'm not going to buy the second one, and I think a lot of people were disappointed. So that's our take on Spider-Man. I'm sure you'll have a take on Spider-Man.
Indeed.
If you do, let us know in the comments.
Yep. Right, so moving on. We've only got the 2 books this week, and we're going to be talking about Thor.
Yeah, we're going to be talking... Thor number 4 came out, so we're going to talk about kind of how we've
run
been
so
the
far,
art.
the story, all the rest of it. Obviously, writer Jason Aaron working on it, artist Esther Rubik.
Esad Ribik?
I feel as though Esther was probably right.
It's E-S-A-D.
Esad. Let's stop pondering this. Esther Ribik.
There's no T? I don't know what you're doing with that. Esad.
We apologise for butchering your name if you're watching this.
Anyway, so this is the story of Gore the God Butcher and Thor, and we've given a recap of the story. Go back and watch our review of Thor number 1.
Yeah.
But I'm very curious to see how we both loved issue 1.
We did.
Very curious to see how this has lived up to it, and if this is still the great Thor story that it promised to be.
So issue 3. I was reading that and I was thinking, this is just getting better and better and better. The artwork in these books is just incomprehensibly good. Like, man whose name I butcher, you are incredible at what you do. Like, I wouldn't even call you a comic book artist. I would say you're an artist. Like, this is...
that's a terrible thing to say because that kind of undermines comic book
No, I
artists.
don't mean that. But I mean, like, you know how in the way that Alex Ross takes it like
It's not
paints all
it's
these
not
things.
traditional
It's
comic
not
book art.
traditional. It's something.
In some ways it is, just looking at it now, but some of the close-up panels and some of the splash pages are almost like...
That's what I mean. Similar to Alex Ross and how he does the kind of realism thing, and people wouldn't consider him a comic book artist. They would consider him an artist, but I don't think... I don't mean that in a rude way.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop digging this hole.
Yeah.
But the artwork in this book is incredible, and this book has introduced me to my new favourite character, and that is old Thor. He is just ridiculously amazing. I love that character, and especially in issue 4, where it's kind of his story.
You started by saying when I got to issue...
Yeah, so
3.
issue 3, absolutely loved it. Issue 4, I really enjoyed until about the last panel, and then it kind of went on me. But at the same time, thinking about it, I kind of unsettled. Are we spoilering this one as well?
No, but you can...
We can talk non-spoilery.
Yeah.
We can talk non-spoilers.
Last panel is a splash
So the
page,
last panel where you get...
Yeah.
I just... It's not the direction that I want the story to go in. So it didn't work for me on a purely selfish level, but I trust Jason Aaron, and I'm sure it's going to go in a fantastic direction in 2 weeks' time when the final book comes out. But all the stuff with old Thor in that issue, where he says, I can't walk to my death, so I'll crawl like a dog. Just like, I love that kind of the noble attitude with this grisly old man. Yeah. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, it's
absolutely love this book.
Yeah, and I agree. I think it's stunning, both artistically, in terms of the art and in terms of the story. I'm buying anything Jason Aaron is writing at the moment. He's incredible. In terms of the last things, because the thing is, I was going through this book thinking, this is great and I'm loving it, but I don't see what they can really do without it feeling weird. Do you know what I mean? Like, without it feeling all separate. I didn't see how they were going to tie all the stories together. Yeah,
because we know, or we can kind of see where it's going, and now it's kind of thrown us for a loop, and I don't know if I like that loop. But
no, but then the thing is, in the modern day, but then I was thinking when we're reading other Avengers, when we're reading Thor and other things, we still know that there's going to be a point in the future where, and he still hasn't, the fact that that ending of book 4 allows us to do, which I think is genius, is to take this story, which is timey-wimey and crazy, and actually complete it and finish it and nip it, which I think is great. I think it's fantastic. The mystery elements in this book, the whole reference to the cave, what happened in the cave, I'm drooling over. I'm just like, I want to know what happened. I want to know what happened. And it keeps building up. You taught me a lesson in this cave. Something happened in this cave. Or the mystery elements.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And the God Butcher is an amazing villain when he goes to that one planet and the guy's like, you only needed a few drops of blood, and it's just this pool just full of blood. Absolutely love that. He is he's a great creation and a great villain. And
and I'm so excited now to see because what is great about this, it's so specific when it comes out in graphic novel form. I'll be buying it because it's going to be the same reason I'm going to buy Batman and Robin is it contains story, the art is consistent, what a beautiful book that is going to be, but also something in this like Tony Stark comes in and seeing Ribick's take on Tony Stark, it's like, wow, cool. Like, I've never seen Tony Stark drawn like that and seeing him included in this world. So I'm so excited now to see where this book is going to go from here. The fact that it's only 5 issues, but I'm so excited to, what are the things that they're going to create? What else are they going to add to Thor?
This book is shaping up to probably be the best of the year. And I think it's probably the most successful of the Marvel Now titles to come out.
For you?
Personally speaking, for me, I think it's the most successful. Having not read Avengers #2 yet, it's in my pile of books to read that I missed over Christmas. But yeah, I've absolutely loved this, and I think it's really shown what Marvel Now was meant for. And one thing that I have loved about Marvel Now is I've gotten to see a lot of different artist takes on work, and I get to see like Lenny Yu, butchered that name, on The Indestructible Hulk, and I saw him in Superior, and I really enjoyed his artwork there, so it's been great to see it there. And obviously, not even going to try and pronounce it again, but on Thor is brand new to me. So that element I've really been enjoying in Marvel now.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. And just finally, this really is an example of a book where the art and the medium come first.
Yeah.
What Jason Aaron is doing more than anything is telling a story. I don't think he cares too much what you think about it. In the same way, Alan Moore, like, you'd never get Alan Moore with you in mind.
Yeah.
He's telling the story that he wants to tell in the best possible way he can, and the commercial aspect comes afterwards. And I don't want to hop on about that, but I just think both of these books are staggeringly different. Nothing about Thor is conventional. It's all very unusual. It's all very new and refreshing. Spider-Man feels recycled.
Yep, I will have to agree with you there.
So we're going to do something new.
Yes, we are. I was about to do that, but he segued in.
Go for it.
No, you keep up.
So both of the books that we talked about today, Superior Spiderman #1, Thor #4.
Yep.
That's difficult. Both come with free digital downloads of the book. We don't need them.
Nah, we got them.
Because we have the books. We own them physically. So you can have them. Leave a comment on this video. We'll pick 2 at random, and then we will send free digital copies of these books.
Ah, you lucky people.
Lucky people.
But while you're at it, also check out our Twitter at Comic Book Show 1. We post the videos up there regularly, and any news and anything like that we see and like. And as for this week, on Wednesday we have a new Versus.
Yes.
Which is all very exciting. And then on Friday, we're going to be talking about some of the comics we've been reading while we've been away.
We are at that. We will see you next time.